at the lecture we had just before lunch. To help us recall the key highlights from lecture 2, I would like to invite Ms. Uma to share a brief summary of the previous session.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Uma, and now I'm going to give a brief overview of food safety and quality assessment in vending machine, focusing particularly on the role of food handlers and the factors that influence the hygiene. Vending machines have become a major part of modern food distribution system, serving billions of euros worth of food and drinks every year. They provide quick access to the snacks, beverages, and even perishable foods like sandwiches and ready-to-eat meals. However, this convenience also comes with important food safety challenges. To ensure safety, vending machine operations are expected to follow the HACCP system, which is Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point System, which is a method that recognized worldwide for controlling the hazards in the food production. Every vending machine must provide clear information about the product, supplier, and complaint contact, and even details about how the machine functions. When vending machines are installed in public and private places, both the machine owner and the property owner share responsibility for product safety and legal compliance. A major concern in microbiological contamination, studies have found that bacteria such as Escherichia coli and Bacillus cereus in beverage machines, particularly in the dispenser nozzles and drip trays where moisture allows bacterial growth. Outbreaks have been listed linked to the Listeria in reheated cooked and chilled meals and Staphylococcus aureus in the pre-packed sandwiches. This is where food handlers play a vital role. Traditional inspections and end product testing alone are not enough. Instead, training and education of food handlers are essential to maintain the hygiene, to handle the equipment safety and apply HACCP principle effectively. Water quality used in vending machine is another factor affecting food safety. Parameters such as pH, turbidity, and residual chlorine must meet legal standards like those outlined in the Spanish Royal Decree 140/2003 to ensure water is fit for the human consumption. In conclusion, this study highlights that the hygienic conditions of vending machine is directly linked to the knowledge and practices of food handlers. Improving their training and focusing on the hygiene rather than just self life extension is key preventing contamination and ensuring the safety of food dispensed to the consumers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uma, for the wonderful summary. It really helped us connect all the important points of the previous session. Now moving ahead, we will begin our tutorial session titled Classroom Discussion on the Best Ways to Achieve Better Nutrition and Better Taste in Agreement with Safety Standards in a Sustainable World. The session will be held by none other than Dr. Antonio Rapso, who will guide us through an interactive discussion encouraging ideas and perspectives on how we can balance nutrition, taste, safety, and sustainability in modern food systems. Please join me in welcome once again Dr. Antonio Rapso to conduct this tutorial session. Please, sir.
Good afternoon. I hope you have had a nice lunch and I'm not too anxious for the assessment you have right next to this session. And let's have some discussion on right this topic, the best ways to achieve better nutrition and better taste. How this can be aligned, better nutrition, better taste, in agreement with safety standards, of course, from the point of view of sustainability in a sustainable world that all of us for sure desire. I have here this figure with the representation of highly palatable foods, and also this diagram with some of their studied effects So, especially in the industrialized Western societies where you have this kind of foods identified as highly palatable, and they are mainly rich in sugar, fat, and salt, and they are often processed or ultra processed food. And of course, they intensively stimulate your pathways and engineer to maximize taste and food and craving. So, this can lead us to trigger dopamine release regarding with the pleasure response, the promoting of overeating and loss of control, the reduced sensitivity to satiety signals, create food addiction like behaviors. So our food habits will be modulated and changed in this way, and to contribute to obesity and of course other metabolic and uncommunicable diseases. Recent studies are also relating the high consumption of these foods, of course, with alterations, modulations in our gut microbiota composition. When we have the animal or plant foodstuffs, we can see that the research finds some increasing health and environmental concerns when these animal foodstuffs are consumed, especially in excessive way. In the other way, in the other end, we can see that when we consume more plant-based foods, less time and budget for home cooking is needed, and of course, we in the middle have to find some familiarity with these foods, and of course, a kind of pleasure and hedonic, and we are not mandatory to find only pleasure and satisfactory in satisfactory elements in the consumption of animal plants and in animal foodstuffs. And one of the great challenges is to balance this and to start to increase the consumption of plant-based foods, especially in Western and industrialized societies, because we can also find tastefully and pleasant meals made it with more fruits, more vegetables included on them. We have here a SWOT analysis regarding the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the food processing and its relationship with a more sustainable world. And we can find the strengths, high level of sanitary security and food availability that can be promoted by the food processing, and also diverse food offering due to the international flux that it is possible to make one food typical from one place being available in other environments in other regions of the world. However, of course, we have also weaknesses. They are highlighted as too much ultra-processed foods associated with degraded food systems and energy-demanding processes, the development of sealed and reconditioned solutions, for example, the greenwashing, depending too much on highly standardized ingredients all the year, most of the time reactive and not proactive in the face of the challenges of current changes, and of course the legal and political measures that are not binding enough for increasing food processing sustainability. Some opportunities that we have regarding this is the evolution of the food choices and expectations by the consumers. For example, shorter list of ingredients, less processed foods, and more naturalness, all topics we have already discussed here, and relocating food transformation adapted to the local production, and revisitation of the plate due to climate changes. Some threats that can we discuss also regarding this are the culinary traditions replaced by ultra-processed foods, degraded human health, the increased prevalence of chronic diseases, and reducing healthy life years. The environment, including the greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, reducing small farmers and small processors can be some of the threats we can find regarding to this. You have here also another illustration regarding the sustainability of the food systems and the crucial elements of hastening the transformation of these food systems. And these elements improve sustainable and healthy diets, productive agri-food systems, and waste management. So we can see here the building trust, the developing transition pathways, transforming mindsets, enable social license, changing in policies and regulations, the designing market incentives, and safeguarding against undesirable effects, as well as the ensuring stable finance. These can be some of the most crucial elements that can have a very relevant role when we are talking about transforming the food system and working on a more sustainable food system for everyone. This another illustration is also regarding the safe, and the safe we must think when we transform and when develop a new food product. This is specific regarding the functional food development by design. And of course, we start with the basic research from in vitro testing to prototyping food models, and then the translational pathway from basic research to public health intervention. So, from basic research, then animal testing, and of course, our goal is to pass it to human interventions and to improve the health of our populations. You have here the sustainable functional foods, and then from the point of view of the science, so we have here all, or at least the most representative stakeholders that are involved in the developing of these sustainable foods. You have the academic, of course, the science, or fundamental research into sustainable sources for fundamental ingredients in vivo assessment of benefits to human health and the cost-benefit analysis is quite important. For the other part, we have the food technologies and the food industry, that the rational use of energy and natural sources, the development of disruptive, highly efficient and green processes, the reduced side streams and byproducts, and life cycle assessment and business potential analysis. This is forever of relevant interest for the food companies from the industry. Regarding the consumers and the society, of course, the information about the changing world, the educational training that they must be aware. They're aware, of course, of the developments within their community, the support initiatives, and keep an open mind about the future of food, and that perhaps some behaviors, some trends must be altered on a goal, the common goal of everybody, for we have resources, natural resources for everybody, and for this growing population. And finally, we have also not the least important, but we have also the policymakers. Set global policy, educate consumers, very important in finding these strategies and be aligned to provide education to the populations. Drafting directives to incentivize the development of sustainable and functional ingredients and foods. The assessment and improvement, of course, of the new products and new food products that these policymakers, these regulatory entities are responsible for. And of course, to provide funds to the investigation, to the research and support of the producing sector, so they can be also related with not only the consumers, but of course the academic and the food industry, the food producers. So let me know your questions, your comments about all these issues we have already discussed, not only in this session, but in all the other sessions, previous sessions we have discussed before and we have analyzed. I know you are very anxious for the assessment. We will have in a few moments, but first let's relax a little bit and share your thoughts, your opinion regarding this issue. And I'll start, of course, with this: better nutrition and better taste. Is this possible? Please let me know your your thoughts. Who wants to be the first? You have them.
So my question is, why is that only junk foods are highly palatable, but the healthier alternatives are not as?
Yes, this is our the science, and especially in industrialized societies and Western societies, is seen, and all the negative effects we are observing from the high consumption of these foods. This is, of course, subjective when we say highly palatable. What it can be highly palatable for you can be for me, but generally speaking, and what we find in the food habits and in the literature, particularly in these Western societies and the industrialized societies, is what we find, and the problems regarding with this overconsumption of this kind of foods. But of course, what is palatable for you can't be for me, and vice versa.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, how can we reduce waste and loss without negatively impacting nutrition quality or food safety?
How can you reduce the
Waste, waste and food loss without negatively impacting nutrition quality or food safety.
but how can you relate food safety with that? Please let me understand your question. Food waste and food safety. Yes.
So, I'm talking about that waste which occurs
You have to plan.
during the.
First of all, you have to plan the use you will have to make with that foods, because of course some the food waste is related with the compromisement of the food safety. If you have a food product that is not more safe for being consumed, you are wasting it because, for example, the shelf life was surpassed. So one of the most important things is to plan the utilization you will do with that food stuff. So I think the best relation we can find in food waste, food safety is regarding to that. If we plan the proper utilization, and we have already talked about this, for example, in the meals, to make the correct plan of our meals regarding the portions, regarding the which amount we will consume in which meal. So we are contributing to reduce the food waste. If you don't matter with it, of course, perhaps you will have some leftovers, and then you have to think what to do with that waste, with that leftovers, and if nothing occurs, it goes to the trash.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, as you mentioned that the best way is to achieve better nutrition and better taste in agreement with safety standards. So I would like to share a few things about this. Like there are
Please.
many methods by which we can reduce the anti-nutrients present in the food. Suppose, for example, in case of millets, we do soaking, or in some cases we germinate the raw material to reduce the anti-nutrients, and the same time we are increasing the bioavailability of the nutrients, macronutrients basically, and also making that food as a fermented food. And by these ways we are enhancing the nutritional value and the bioavailability of the nutrients. There are many methods. Another one is soaking, germination, fermentation.
Yes, the soaking is very
roasting.
important in the millets
Yes.
and in the grain products. And yes.
Also in the case of pulses and rice.
Yes, the same.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing. And of course, all of that, I think in the session yesterday, We have also added about a little bit about that to eliminate some of those anti-nutrients to enable more potential regarding the bioactivities and of course the metabolic effect that which those foods we are consuming have in our organism. So that strategies are very important. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for acknowledging. I think some of them we have already discussed here in previous sessions. Thank you.
So good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So I think use of probiotics in the food and
Sorry. Try again, maybe.
so antioxidants, dietary fibers, then like reducing trans fat. This all way we can have a better, we can improve the condition of people. Like we can, if they are having obesity and problems, we can compete with that and have a better nutrition.
Yes, yes, of course. Nowadays, the use of fermented foods, the probiotics are very important to be present in a daily diet of people. They cannot lead, and they cannot not only not for treatment but for prevention of some diseases, and the effects are very clear in the literature that you can find. Sometimes it is a problem to make them acceptable for the people. That is one of the problems. And once again, sometimes the price can be also a problem for the people to buy it. At least from my perspective and in my place. Other thing is, for example, you can make home fermented products, and of course, you will not spend so much money on that. You can spend time, but you have time. There is someone that has time to make those kind of products at home, so in traditional. But for example, if you live in a city, if you don't have conditions to make that kind of preparations at home, if you go to the supermarket, you see the price of these products, fermented products, enriched with probiotics, everything, and you see the price of the other products. So, people don't have clear the benefits of those products. I don't see from day to another the benefits. The only thing they see is that they will pay 4 or 5 more than for the conventional product they are accustomed to buy, and that is a problem. So once again, the context is very important. You are, for example, in a place like this, with the environment, with dairy products, with access kind of easy to this kind of products. If your family environment, you have someone that can be responsible to make some, and there's the knowledge and there's the tools to produce this fermented product. So it's different. You are more keen to use them in your daily diet. Other thing is if you live in a city, in a big city, and if you have no time, not you, not your husband, not your wife to make this, everyone, and the only way and possibility you have to consume and to include these products in your diet is buying them in a store, in a supermarket, and the price is quite different from the others. So, but the advantages of the more stimulate the people to consume this kind of price more than evident, more than evident. And even in the supermarket, you see more options today than a few years ago. I can speak about, for example, even 5 years, we haven't so much options as we have today. But of course, the price is different. When, at least for me, when I go to the supermarket, I say fermented milks, kind of fermented milks, or with addition of probiotics. All of these have different prices when you have in the other side the conventional ones. So it is not so easy. It depends. It depends on the context.
So regarding the nutrition, as we know, we should consume healthy diet, but we are addicted to more to junk foods. Then like taste is important for us. Like we will be thinking in a situation that those green leafy vegetables are not that tasty, so we'll be consuming
Yes,
junk
yes,
foods.
that was I was saying to your colleague. This when we talk about highly palatable foods. This is quite subjective because talking this, having this slide for you, you can think, but I don't. I'm not used. I don't consume that food. I haven't. Perhaps I don't have such availability or access to this food. And for me, palatable food are plant-based foods are vegetables. So it is quite strange to talk about these meat products, these soda drinks, because you are not, and for good, you are not accustomed to these foods. But it's not only here when we talk about this. It is not only the question of being animal or not. Here it is more related with they are more processed or less processed. And even in plant-based foods, we have processed plant-based food products. And some problems and health problems related with overconsumption of that kind of products. Here we are talking about those junk foods and more related with the fast food chains. It is not the question of being meat or being or being vegetables, of course. This must be also very clear.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Another question?
Sir, this even now in India we also get these fish and meat processed. I don't know if I should use the word processed, but they are available across the country. So fish is supposed to be healthy with all its omega fatty acids and all that. But when it comes to this kind of processed fish, would it be just as healthy, or would you advise that kind of processed
Processed fish.
fish
Fish?
fish?
Processed fish.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the problem is not the fish. The problem in that case is the process. You have also in our country, for example, smoked fish and processed fish. Of course, the benefits you have with the consumption of processed fish are quite different if you consume the fresh fish. Yes, and we must have in consideration what kind of process that fish passed, what kind of additives you add to the fish, and of course, perhaps that is not so good for health. But we have to see which kind of process we are talking about, because here we have also potatoes in this food, but fried potatoes, and the quality of the oil that used for fry these potatoes, and then the quantity, the amount of salt that is added to the potatoes, and then the sauce you will eat joint with the potatoes, kind of mayonnaise, ketchup, everything, and the composition of that sauces. All of this have to be taken into consideration, because you can prepare a homemade tomato sauce and you can buy a ketchup sauce industrialized from a store, and the composition it's quite different. It's quite different. But for good, here you don't have a lot of at least here you don't have these habits of consumption of fast food. I don't know how it is in your big cities, if you have a lot of fast food establishments or fast food chains, but in Western societies we have a lot, and students, young people, not only young, but every people are accustomed to go there. Even the children in the school ask for the parents to go there to celebrate the party with the friends in these places. So it is very common in our societies. For you, and specifically, I believe from here near the neighborhoods of this university, you don't have. You are accustomed to a very different pattern of culture and society and of food habits. And of course, for you, I believe you see strange when I present something like this and put out palatable foods, and I include an image, not this, the other. I include an image of beef, of chicken, of hot dog, of soda. It's perhaps strange foods, strange foods for you, and that's for good. That is not a drawback. But this is not what occurs in the lot of places in the world.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
when we're talking about how to get better nutrition individually, I believe one should just analyze what he or she is consuming, given that the food which he or she is consuming individually, like
Yes.
how processed it is, or just to take a break and just think that the food items which are present in that food, whether they are highly adulterated, or to give a thought that the raw material which is being used to prepare that food, given that when you are trying to consume food from takeaways basically, or from restaurants, so that matters. Or I believe that to go raw and to consider cooking foods at your home is far more better.
Yes, it can be, but of course we cannot always say that the foods that we prepare home are better and the foods from the restaurants are worse. That is also a very subjective analysis because it depends what you prepare at home and what you will eat on the restaurant. Yes, that's a good point. What is important here is also we are discussing a lot of nutrition, and that's a good point. But we also take into consideration this second variable, that is the taste, and taste is so or even more important than nutrition, because if you don't like, you will not eat that food. And people at home prepares what they like, and of course, if they don't like a food item, from the point of view of sensory properties, I believe that you will not buy it, you will not prepare it, you will not eat it. So, and then, of course, the knowledgeable, what people know about what is healthy or not, what is the adequate portion for a meal, or what is an inadequate portion. So, all of this, so that is why very important the food and nutrition literacy of the populations, to know what is proper to buy in the markets and to prepare and to cook at home. Of course, at home, it is supposed you to know very well the source where those items, those food items, will come from. You know very well how they were prepared. You know very well the harvesting and the preparing conditions, hygiene conditions where they were stored, harvested, and prepared. And when you go out to have dinner or to have lunch, you are facing only the dish, and you have to trust on the establishment that prepared your food, that have good quality products, free from pesticides, everything, and then the cooker in the kitchen the proper hygiene practices. But you have to trust, you face only the final product. So of course, if you make everything correct and adequate and to prepare it at home in theory, of course it is more probable to have an healthier meal than when you go out.
Yes, but like when we talk about India, like basically, if, for example, we talk about bread, the chapatis we get here. So compared to what we make in home, the quality of wheat which will we buy for ourselves is,
Yes.
it will be far more like better compared to the ones which you get here in restaurants, and I believe everyone here will agree, because like that there's a difference here. Like when we talk about
Yes,
restaurants,
yes, but there is no restaurants that can prepare the chapatis in a similar way you prepare at home. There are no restaurants that can prepare
like
those chapatis in that
there's a difference.
more traditional way.
Like you'll find refined wheat in addition to the normal wheat flour.
Yes, but in the restaurants they don't do that. That's my question. I don't know.
No, like in restaurants you'll find refined flour.
Yes.
Compared to in households,
Yes.
you'll get
You know the restaurants. You know the restaurants.
mostly in all the restaurants. Like almost you can call that above
Yes,
95%.
because of course the cost effectiveness of
Exactly,
that
exactly.
is better for
Cost,
them.
cost effective.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, if you want some different way of preparation, perhaps or for sure, you have to pay much more. Perhaps there are fewer restaurants with that kind of production, but of course the price is higher. And if you have the possibility to make that kind of production in your home, it's better. Yes, for sure. That's why you are saying that it is preferable to consume homemade products when compared with those ones that are offered in the food establishments. Yes, yes, yes. In
And
that way, I totally
when
agree.
talking about taste, like
The waste.
taste,
Yes.
taste. So what I've observed, like the more hybrid varieties of vegetables or fruits you'll consume, the taste vanishes compared to the ones which you get in the what you call it, wild varieties. So
Of course, yes, and the taste it is always very particular because it will always varies from people to people. When we are talking about nutrition needs, nutrition requirements, we have the guidelines. We have that we must meet or not. Of course, if you have some specific disease, you have to control it. But then the taste will vary a lot. What I think it is very tasteful, it is very good, it is very pleasant, but for you it can be the opposite. So this will depend a lot from people to people. What I'm looking for in a product, in a food product, can be very different from the taste perspective of you. What I think very tasteful, I really appreciate this chicken, this meat, this chicken, and you are vegetarian. You appreciate a lot of vegetables. I have very colleagues of mine. They don't eat vegetables. They don't like. Simply don't like. They don't eat. Everything is green outside the plate, and not one, not two. Very people there have these costumes, and it's difficult to manage, of course, to find strategies and to find some diet adequate by accomplishing what is required, and of course respecting the food preferences, the culture, everything. And it's very. Imagine your daily life without vegetables, and there are other people that can't use it. Are in the right in the opposite. Someone only eat vegetables and fruit products, and we have other people that simply don't consume them. So this is very particular, but important, very particular, but of course very important because nutrition comes next. People will not eat something that are not used to, are not familiar, and simply don't like, and very difficult to change the mind, the perception, because is what I say. Everybody knows that shouldn't consume so much fat, so much sugar, so much salt. But why they still consuming? I think everybody knows it is not needed to make an undergraduate course, a master, even a PhD, to understand we should not consume so much sweet. But why? We have a lot of problems in a lot of places, a lot of societies, and modern, industrialized, with growing diseases related with this. Obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases are the main causes of death worldwide. And people knows that should reduce the consumption of these foods and should increase the consumption of other foods like the plant-based ones. But why they don't make this change? That is the difficult. The answer and how to make they in their lives make this change. That is the difficult, because change habits, change minds. It is not from one day to another. It is very difficult. It is like I arrive here and I say you must stop eating vegetables and you must start to eating meat.
No, it won't work. Like
So it is like the summer when arriving near some people that don't like vegetables and they are not accustomed to eat. Don't use spices and say substitute the salt for spices and eliminate the meat and start consuming vegetables and fruits.
they won't.
That is a long way. Of course they won't. That is a long way. Long way, long way, long way.
And like when we are talking about nutrition, like basically I think in current scenario, the ones who get affected by some sort of diseases, then they think that we should eat nutritious food. They don't consider consuming a good quality food product when they are in a healthy situation.
Yes, yes. Sometimes it is because they went to a doctor or because they have a disease and are kind of obligated to change it or to remove it to their diet. Yes, but we should do that as a prevention, and not only people shouldn't take care only regarding their food choices or nutrition when they have some problem, because on that point, it will not be so effectively so.
But like, and when we talk about taste, so it's like the one who wants to try new things, or basically the one who is interested in uh, uh, to develop a new taste, or to try a new food with a different taste. So that
We can talk about both, and we can talk about the simply consider a food more tasteful than the other. So taste is related with this. Even if we are in the presence of more neophilic or less neophilic population, to try new things that are open to try new foods. It is important.
yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, like, to get a better nutrition, taste, and also keeping in the concern of safety thing. So, rather than going for an traditional method practices, can't we switch into an modern technological like lab-based foods? So we can like all three in one: nutrition, safety, and also the taste.
Yes, if we develop further research, it's because we are not at that point, especially on mass large production. In some years, we can I can give a more adequate answer on that. But that is a way, of course, and why not? Why not? I don't question. Of course, some of people will associate lab and food, and this is not work. But why not? Why not? We have to make the studies, all the essays. Of course, it is a very, very long way regarding approval. Regulatory issues will come. So, but why not? I don't say no. I don't say no. I don't say no. But,
Yesterday we were talking about lab-based meat production, plant-based
yes,
meat, like I don't
cultivated.
know how. Yeah.
Why not? We have a lot of people with hunger in this world. Seeing the world, the planet, in a global perspective. For example, I can say from my perspective, my own perspective in Portugal, I don't need it. I don't care about why I will take one cultivated meat or plant-based or even GMO. We don't want it. We don't need it. But in other parts of the world, people are dying because they have nothing to eat. So looking the world, and if we analyze the number of people that are suffering from stunts, from anger, are more than those ones that are suffering from obesity, diabetes, and diseases related with overconsumption. So in number of persons, individuals, we have more people dying and dying, not having problem dying today, because they don't have access to food. They don't have food simply. Not junk food, not seeds, not vegetables, not meat, no. And water also, and potable water. This is when we talk about nutritional needs and requirements, you should think that perhaps the greater population in this world is suffering because they haven't resources. And even now, when we are facing the conflicts we have already discussed here in Israel and Gaza, in Ukraine and Russia, so this affects a lot. People, millions, not thousands, but millions of people. That what is food security for them? What is food safety? What is food for them? It is not a question of with what we are discussing here. It is a question of they don't have access. They don't have food, simple like that. Not meat, not vegetable, not spicy, not salt, nothing. And in this changing world, we must be prepared. And unfortunately, for this work and conflicts that we face, this affects very much the whole food systems. All of we are talking here, food security aspects, food access. This affects, and we should, if we think this in a global, with a global vision, we see that we face very, very huge challenges, and the biggest ones are not related to prevent or to treat obesity and diabetes. Those some are important, of course they are. I'm not mitigating them that, but we have a lot of people that simply don't eat, don't have food.
Yes, sir, because like the as the days changing on, the our quality of life is getting reduced. So people think like the quality, okay, my quality of life is reducing. So why should I keep on thinking about future sustainability? Let me be however I am, how much ever I do live, like that.
Yes, but quality of life, we have very perspectives of quality of life, and what is quality of life? Of course, we can define it as longer as when people is healthy and without being dependent on others to making his life. But when we talk with one specific person, a specific individual, for him, quality of life is not eating vegetables. He's going to a fast food chain every day. So when we speak about quality, not only quality of life, but food quality or quality, this is also very subjective. What is quality for you? For example, I give this example to my students. What is a car that is quality for you? A car with good quality. Give me an example of a brand of a car that is quality for you. I can say that will consume fewer, that I will not expend too much, and that takes me from point A to point B. And perhaps we have another person that says, I want a car that is faster than the other ones. I don't care about if it consumes more or less. I don't care about the price. And other people, I want a luxury car with comfort seats, everything. So this is very variable. And regarding food is the same. What is food quality product for you? It is not only the composition, it is not only the nutritional composition of that food. And in that food quality, the sensory, the organoleptic characteristics of the product are included. And when you include those characteristics, this will vary a lot from you, from me, from everyone in this room. So one thing is certain: when we talk about food quality, the food safety must be present. We can talk about a product of high quality if it is not safe. That is, it must be safe in AUKUS that doesn't place any harm for those ones we consume. But then the quality will have a greater variance, and it depends from people to people.
Yes, sir. Like because we everyone know that we should not consume sugar in excess because it is an slow poison. But we'll say, okay, I'm healthy now. I can eat sweets. What about? I don't know what tomorrow happens. If I will be a diabetic tomorrow, I can't. So
Yes.
until I become a diabetic, let me consume
Yes.
it.
And those internal regulations that I have already talked this morning regarding eating competence, everybody knows that should eat or restrict the consumption of sugars, of high fat products, of salty products. Here you don't have salty, but why people simply don't do this? And why do the still do the same thing? I know that I shouldn't eat too much sweets, but I keep eating, and even more.
If someone says, we'll say that I don't know about tomorrow. So let me consume it today.
Yes, then we find some strategies to not be so bad in our feelings. I eat this, but tomorrow I will run 30 minutes, so that's not a problem. And tomorrow I don't know how I will be, so I do it today. But of course, when you do it one time, two times not a problem. But when you do it frequently, of course, this will reflect in your health, and the numbers are visible to everyone. It is just a question of searching and see the data from the World Health Organization and several papers that are published. The numbers of diabetes, obesity, the cardiovascular diseases, hypertension are increasing.
Maybe this is the reason why people don't much think about sustainability.
Yes, and the problem, at least from one perspective, is that these diseases will not kill you from one day to another. It's different from the other ones that suffer from stunt or have no food. If you have no food, you will not survive for too long. But if you have diabetes, obesity, hypertension, these problems, these health issues are not acute. You will not die from one day to another. You will still here and spending money from the states, from medicines, from treatments, everything. Your quality of life will be reduced year by year, but you will not die in one day, 2 days, 1 week. Maybe you can be here and from another perspective, fortunately, for 10, 12, 50, 20 years, but with these health issues. And the quality of life is quite different if you wouldn't have them.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
So, in order to achieve better nutrition along with safety standards, we can also include the better packaging technologies like use of biodegradable materials and also use of edible packaging, which will also reduce the plastic waste and
Yes,
also
and some
the
of them also extend the shelf life of some products. Yes, yes,
also
yes, yes.
also modified atmosphere
Yes, for
packaging.
sure, for sure. And a lot of research have been made on this with that objective. Yes, biodegradable packaging, the adding of some peels of some foodstuffs to package others. And yes, that is a very interesting research topic that has been developed in the last few years. And I think that it fits perfectly here in what we are talking about sustainability. Of course, food safety. We must to analyze and see the specifications of each kind of material or foodstuff we are employing and to package what. But after we study, yes, for sure, and there are very interesting alternatives to also to the plastics, and that can be more sustainable. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for your
Thank you, sir.
ear in front.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes, please.
So for increasing the consumption of vegetables and fruits, we can improvise the method of cooking. Like for vegetables, instead of frying, like for potato chips, we can air fry them. And for fruits, we can make custard or jellies, like homemade jellies for them. So
Yes,
maybe
you are very
people.
right, and you to the point very important. At least from my point of view, air frying. I don't know how is the use of air frying methods here in India, but in Portugal, a lot of people are starting to make, for example, the potatoes that we like very much to eat fried potatoes, French fries. But of course, as you know, high content of fat and the quality of the oil that we produce the fries sometimes is not so good, and people are starting to cook these potatoes in air frying, and not only the potatoes. I give the example of potatoes, but also to cooking some other vegetables and also meat that years before time before we did it in oil, start frying, or for example, and now we are finding some other and using of the novelties of the processing technologies to get some healthier choices. Yes, 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 and that is very important. Not only the change of the food stuff, but also the change of how we process, how we prepare that foods. Yes, yes. And air frying, it is very, very well established, very well established because we enjoy the fried foods, fried chicken, fried potatoes, even fried vegetables. And if we find another way to make something similar from the point of texture and flavor, why not? And people are enjoying it. Yes, a very well established the market of air frying.
Also, sir, I would like to share, like, I'm staying away from my home, so I miss the home cooked food prepared by mom. And here I like eat a lot of processed food, noodles, Maggie, etc. But at home, I enjoy only the home cooked food.
Yes, and of course, sometimes people when change from what they are accustomed, they find for sure some things that will find tasteful and oh, this is very nice, this is new, I never tried, but also things that will be very different from they are accustomed and they will not like too much. That is normal. That is normal, and of course, when you are accustomed to good tasteful food and high nutritious food, it is can be strange when you have a very huge difference in a few days.
Also, sir, like people say you should have balanced diet, but sometimes the food we get in the mess, it is not good in taste, or we didn't like the taste. Then it is like we can't sleep hungry, so we have to eat the processed food only in order to
Yes, the
strive
question
for
the,
the
que-
hunger.
the question of taste is also questionable. Yes, yes, yes. Right. What is tasteful for you? That is a good
So,
question.
like,
If I ask, like the food versions that every one of you answered, if I ask to each one of you what is a tasteful food for you, and perhaps for sure most of you will tell me one kind of fruit or vegetable.
so
But if we go to other place, to other targeted population, the answers would be very, very different. This will vary, of course, of the food pattern and the personality also, and what you consider tasteful or not.
So,
Yes,
like
please.
my activity was something regarding that I want each one of you to at least say one food ingredient which you find that you can go to at any end.
What is your preferable food? Yes, yes,
Preferable,
yes.
no, food ingredient in terms of taste that you want it in your
Yes,
food
food
item.
ingredient, not a recipe, okay?
Not a
Not a
recipe.
recipe. For
Not the
example,
recipe.
pineapple. For
Exactly.
example, pepper. For yes,
Like,
yes,
for
onion,
example,
garlic. Yes,
like
yes,
for
yes.
example,
You
coriander leaves, cilantro basically.
Korean.
I could go to any end to have it in the best condition, or I get wild varieties of cilantros in my hometown. So I consider using it in every food dish.
And we can see it is interesting that some, for example, of your favorite food can be one type of food that one of your mates told in the other session that was one of the foods that they have aversion.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, tomato. If an of us will say tomato, if I remember well,
Yes,
you
exactly.
don't tolerate tomato.
Tomatoes, I
And
don't add it in
coriander,
my
I remember that one of you answered that was one of the
coriander seeds.
yes, coriander seeds, different from the leaves. But it is also interesting to find that. So yes, please, if you
Yes,
want
so
to start
to start
from the beginning, perhaps, and see your favorite ingredients.
it should be an ingredient, not a whole
Yes,
food
yes,
item.
ingredient, food item. Yes.
I'm not a foodie. I can eat anything.
Sorry, sorry.
So I'm not a foodie. I can eat anything to survive. So yeah.
Oh no,
So
you have not
nothing
not
special.
pleasure, enjoy. Interesting. Yes, it is an opinion. Yes.
I need cumin powder in everything. Cumin.
Cumin.
Yes.
That is a spice, I believe.
Yes, yes, it is.
For me, it would be cilantro.
Yes.
Yeah, cilantro.
See, no.
Like in everything, in
In everything.
rice, in pulses, in vegetable, everything. Cilantro is a must.
Cilantro. Very
Turmeric.
consumed in that is very consumed in Portugal too. Yes, yes, yes. In our cuisine, the cilantro is very consumed.
Turmeric.
Turmeric.
Cardamom. Elaichi.
Sorry, sorry.
Cardamom.
Garlic.
Elaichi.
Cardamom.
So I like some spicy, like whatever.
Spicy. Yes. Okay.
Essa foi dita.
Some.
Essa foi dita.
Essa foi yes. See?
I love potato in everything.
Potato.
I like garam masala.
Garam masala, yes. It's a mix of spices, I believe. A mix of you don't have one only perfect spicy. Everyone here likes spicy food, I believe.
I love black pepper in everything.
Black pepper.
Black pepper.
In Portugal, we also use black pepper, but in small amount.
So I like tamarind.
Tamarind.
Yeah. So I have a question. Uh, we are told that Vasco da Gama came to India from Spain or Portugal. to get spices, but you say that your country doesn't take spicy much. So
No, we don't use too much spice. We have, of course, when you go to the supermarket, we have, and I've already been in supermarket here, and we have most of the spices I find here, I can find there with more or less difficulty. But the question is the use of those spices in the food, and use in very, very small amounts, and not every day, not for every dish. So it is the way of we use them in the cuisine, very in different way of you. I can see here you even include spices in the tea, in the desserts, in the everything, in the rice. And in Portugal, only in some specific dishes, meals we prepare, and in small amounts, because otherwise people can't eat, can't tolerate. Some herbs, for example, cilantro is very used, and garlic, onion, yes, we use them, but the spices and powder spices, it is not. We have it, we have it. It is not something that we don't know even that they don't exist. But the utilization of that spices, of that products in the cuisine is quite different from the utilization you give. Yes, yes, for sure.
Sir, I like to have green chili.
Green chili.
Yes, sir.
I like also spicy food.
Spicy, not one particular, just spicy.
Sir, I like cumin seed.
Turming?
हाँ
Sorry, I
sir,
didn't understand.
cumin seed.
Turming seed. That is a seed that you add to the meal.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, I like cardamom.
Cardamom. Yeah. Me too. Very interesting the taste, but in small quantities.
Sir, I would like to add any spices to the food. Like I'm from the place which is known as the spice capital of India, that is Kerala. So I would like to add. We are more towards the spices. So I will add any spice to my food. Like even when I'm making Maggie, I will add pepper to it.
Yes.
Then
Your own mix
chili
to
powder.
different
Yeah.
spices, and you like always to have your food very hot, very spicy.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
Same sir, like mostly pepper because it is called as like black gold of Kerala.
Okay.
So everything, whatever we cook without pepper, we don't. In every, let it be veg or let it be
It
non-veg.
was almost like the salt for us.
Yes, let it be veg or let it be non-veg. Without pepper, we don't consume.
Will not work.
Yeah.
Green coriander and black pepper.
Nice.
I like green chili and black pepper.
Like pepper and green chili.
To my food, I would like to add ginger garlic paste and the grounded spices that it enhances the taste and aroma of the food.
Yes, because even when you ground the spices, the taste is enhanced.
Yes.
A mix of ginger and garlic, and then you add also some grounded spices. Yes,
Sir, I like spicy food.
spices, every spice. You don't have a particular spicy. I think that most of you answer spices, but you don't have a particular spicy. You don't differ from one to other.
Sir, actually, we use mixture of spices.
Yes, use masala, a mixture of spices. So you can't differentiate the taste from one particular seed or one particular spicy from the other. You should taste them separately. It should be interesting, perhaps.
Sir, actually, we use the mixture of spices,
Yes.
then grind it, and it in India we call it garam masala.
Garam masala.
Yes.
And when we talk only masala, because for example, there in Portugal in restaurants we have masala, only masala. So there is any difference between?
Like no, yes, we add like clove, black pepper, black cardamom, green cardamom. We all mix it, cumin seed. We all mix it and make a fine powder.
Okay.
And we use a pinch of it in our gravies or anything else we cook. So it enhances the taste of that food and aroma also.
Okay.
So that we can feel it like we are eating something good.
Okay.
Spicy
So
food.
that's why you say spicy in general, not
Yes.
one particular. I understand.
Basically, it enhances the taste
if we are making it normally without using the spices,
Okay.
and if we are adding the spices, the taste is enhanced, the flavor is enhanced. So
Yes,
we uses it that way.
I see.
So green coriander.
Green coriander, yes.
So same spicy
The
food.
same.
So I like all the spices.
Yeah. And right back.
So ginger paste and dalchini.
Okay.
Dairy products.
Sorry?
Dairy products. Ghee.
Maggi masala.
Maggi masala. I suppose another kind of mix of spices, grind spices. I think until now no one said any fruit, only the spices and
In general, I love any kind of sweet dishes.
any kind of sweet, not to one particular.
No, matlab, I just love
The sweet taste.
yes. Also the vanilla essence or cardamom. The taste.
Sir, I'm a meat eater, so I like the taste of garlic in it.
Garlic.
To me, it would be ginger that I would love to add to any dish or any beverage.
Ginger. Okay.
It's the same ginger, garlic paste, and coriander leaves.
Nice, nice.
So I like cinnamon in my dish.
Cinnamon.
So I prefer onion.
Onion.
I like everything, depend on situation. Sir.
Everything. I wouldn't say that. I don't believe you like everything. I can prove you are not correct. Can make an experience with. I take you to Portugal and then let's see if it depends on the situation. But that it's good to be open and to see that you are very, very neophilic and very, very open to eat everything. And you have pleasure in eating everything, yes.
Red chili powder and salt, sir.
Chili powder and salt.
Yes, sir, salt.
Salt. I think everyone.
I think cameraman, sir. वो भैया अभी नहीं बोला.
My, since it is not spicy, I can say I like everything. But I enjoy very much. I enjoy very much lobster, for example, and prawns. I like very much food from the sea. So I believe very quite different from your.
वो also cameraman.
Oh, to the camera. And Dr. Tejpal also it is not in participate. What is your preferred food item?
Actually, it's very difficult. So,
Only to say one.
yeah, because ultimately it depends. Every ingredient we cannot eat every time. So, in my opinion, it should be balanced. And I'm not very specific to any particular ingredient in food. So, obviously, variation is required sometimes.
Yes.
So, I'm neutral in this case.
Neutral. That is important to have, of course, also this opinion of open to eat everything. Of course, there are some things that we don't appreciate too much compared to others for cultural reasons, for taste reasons, for what else. But of course, I believe that all of us have something that you have even a little kind of aversion, and others, of course, they prefer. And that it can be that can be simple for the way they are cooked. If it is one person or one individual to prepare the meal is one thing, and the same meal, the same ingredients, everything same. But if it is made it prepared by another one, by another individual, the taste will be quite different. So that's true. That's true. Thank you very much. And one more question? No? Are you ready for the examination? Yes.
Sir, we have one more activity. Like it's based on what type of cooking method uh, nowadays we are using in our household stuff that helps in reducing nutritional loss and
Yes.
enhances the taste as well, keeping in mind the safety standards as well. So
Yes.
I would like to start from Akhilesh. Activity.
Let's see if everybody.
बेसिकली एक्टिविटी हमारी ये है कि हमें कोई एक ऐसा कुकिंग मेथड या एक ऐसी हैबिट हमें बतानी है जिससे हम जो हम ट्रेडिशनली यूज करते थे न्यूट्रिशन को एनहांस कर रहे हैं वेट 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 लिसन टेस्ट को एनहांस कर रहे हैं उसके न्यूट्रिशनल पॉइंट्स को एनहांस कर रहे हैं या फिर उसके लॉसेस को प्रिवेंट कर रहे हैं कीपिंग इन माइंड द सेफ्टी एज वेल
Who wants to share?
सॉरी क्या कह रहे हैं यू
Fermentation or germination?
फिर ये क्या था कहाँ से शुरू करें योगित सबको सोचने के लिए टाइम चाहिए
So, like, there is this method where while cooking some sort of what do you call it, a dish, to cook the veggies or the vegetables, we call it the sabzi basically, and we try rather than adding water to that in the pan, we keep it above the lid, the water, and as the water boils, with the help of the steam, the food gets cooked inside. So like this helps to get a different taste compared to the where to the food which in which the water is directly added
Yes.
to boil them or to cook them. So this is one of this method. So like just to
Anyone wants to share? I think we have already talked here about, for example, when you are preparing. I don't know if here you have the habits of consuming soup, but for example, when you boil the vegetables for eating with in your plate in your main course, you can then use the water that you use to boil the vegetables to prepare a soup, for example, and not throwing the water to the sink, to the trash. So that is one of also that most people should do and do it
In
well.
South, we have a dish. It's called Vellappam. Actually, like it's a if you show it in North or other states, they might think it is a dosa type, but it's not actually. Like we have grind rice and boiled rice, one raw rice, like a little bit of raw rice, then little bit of boiled rice, then few pulses, then coconut. This four thing we grind it. Then overnight it is kept for fermentation and next day we cook it like as a like dosa type. So it's a combination of I think carbs, protein and also fat and also nutrients from the coconut also. So I think it's a best combination. Yeah, from fermentation we get the beneficial microbes also. So I think it's a good combo. Huh?
Yes, yes.
Like in taste also, it's not like a sweet or something. It quite like a starch type itself. So we can have it with any other gravy type or chutney, anything like that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that's an interesting. Anyone
So,
else?
but in North, if we show that, they might think it's a dosa, which is only of grinding of rice. But it's not. Like it's a combination of this
all
rice.
that 4 steps.
Yeah. Like because when dosa is prepared, it's like thin all over. But this vellappam, it's like we cook it in in between it's like a fluffy, and in side it's very thin. So it's thick and thin combination.
Okay. The texture, yes.
Yeah. It feels like spongy with many spores and all. Huh? Yeah.
I see. Anyone else wants to share some interesting method to preserve or to enhance the quality of one specific food?
In North, we usually make a dish that is known as halim.
Alim.
Yes. We we soak the rice and
Soak the rice, yes.
rice, wheat in little amount, but the pulses, all the mixed pulses, they are in major amount. We soak them overnight and then pressure cook them so that they are mashed properly. And then we add non-veg also in that. So it is a good combination which provides meat, that protein as well as carbohydrate. So we can consume that.
The problem I see in those methods you are mentioning it is the conditions you need to have. So the whole night for fermentation, the whole night for that, it is time consuming. So you once again you have to have this specific conditions and time for doing that. Because, for example, if I want to make some people try to use those kind of preparations, they say I don't have time simply. I don't have the conditions.
We mix all of them. We don't need to cook them separately like rice and wheat and all the pulses separately. We usually mix it, and then
only to wait one night until
no,
you get
not usually one night. We can soak them for 3 to 4 hours only.
okay.
Not
more
proper
reasonable.
fermentation.
Okay.
Like we have to just make them soft so
Okay.
that it can take less time to cook.
Yes,
We can
that's
cook
nice.
them directly also, but to
No, proper-
decrease
yeah,
the
yeah, of course.
time of cooking, we usually soak them
Okay.
so that it can take less time to cook, and then we cook them as a whole, all the ingredients as one, and we fry them and add the non-veg, and then we eat. We can eat separately also, and we can eat in combination of
I see.
biryani also.
I see. Thank you for clarification. No one else?
Sir, in Haryana and some parts of Rajasthan, we prepare bakli. It's a local dish. Basically, in what we did is 50% of wheat and black gram is taken. It's soaked for 4 to 5 hours. Then it's steam cooked. After staining the extra water, then adding salt, bit of salt and ghee is added, and after that it is consumed. So in this method, we are reducing anti-nutrients and making the food soft and enhancing the bioavailability of the nutrients. And by adding ghee, we are making a combination of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So it's a like healthy and good combination from the traditional methods.
Yes. We can learn a lot from the tradition and the ways of our previous generations use the foods, use the cuisine, and we can adapt for sure some of those techniques, some of those processes for nowadays. And in some ways, they can be very valuable, and those knowledge is very useful in some of our lives. Yes, and also when regarded to potentiate or to enhance the food properties, and not only taste but also regarding to enhance the utilization of the components we have in food. I think that's a good example. Yes, yes.
Another thing is pearl millet porridge.
Um,
Pearl millet porridge.
okay.
So what in this we do is we take the pearl millet, soak it for 2 to 3 hours, then make like grind it, not so fine, then cook it like steam cooking we do, then add some ghee and some sweet like jaggery or something like that, then it is then we eat it. So palm millet is also the same combination, so carb, fiber,
Yes.
micronutrients,
And
and
with the jar,
fat.
it will be a kind of sweet also.
Yes, yes, yes. So jaggery is also the good source of iron as well. So it's the good combination of macro and macronutrients.
Interesting. Yes, yes. Interesting.
Another dish is rabdi. That is traditional food. I guess we have discussed in previous sessions as well about this. Using the barley.
Barley.
Yes, barley. Then soak it. After that, grind it and take the like black gram powder, mixing it with the in some quantities like 75% is barley, 25% is black gram powder. Then mix it with buttermilk, then cook it, then keep it with overnight. Then it is consumed with milk by mixing it with milk, and in the morning it is mixed with buttermilk. So in both the ways it is consumed. It's a good combination of probiotics and
Probiotics and
prebiotics.
yes, I see.
That's
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
Another cooking methods, there are many cooking methods that are being used in traditionally. Like before cooking rice and like pulses, we soak them for 4 or 6 hours, so that anti-nutrients will be reduced, and while cooking we need not to consume more fuel to cook it. So it's easy to cook as well. In this way we are reducing the few like energy to cook it, and taste is also enhanced, and anti-nutrients are also reduced.
Reduced, yes, yes.
One another method is like Yogit mentioned, instead of adding water from the outside, we used to cook steam cook the food by using outer source of the water and using the condensation process to cook that
Yes,
meal.
with less water as possible. Yeah.
Yes. So in this way, the nutrients as well as the
And
taste.
yes, yeah, that was I'm talking. Not only the nutrients, but you will feel the difference in the taste.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Another thing is kanji or some pickles we are making that are also fermented. Traditionally, we are using loads of spices to make it, and fermenting them.
It's fermented along with the spices.
Yes, yes.
So in northern part of India, we make khichdi with rice and pulses and vegetable, is small amount of spices and ghee. It is a good combination of carbohydrate, protein, fat, and fiber, and it is easy to digest.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for sharing. Then we should have a third activity that would be the taste of all that dishes you are you are mentioning.
Sir, we would also like to know like what type of practices you are using in your country that are sustainable and also enhances the taste, and at the same time they are preserving the nutrients as well.
Yes, the most common we say to the people is that I have already told. For example, we have a lot of consumption of vegetables. We simply boiling in water the vegetables and then eating along with the meat or the fish. But most of the people, the water that was used to boil those vegetables, they throw it to the trash, to the sink. So we want that people utilize that water, because it's not only water. In that water you have hydrosoluble vitamins, micronutrients that it can be used for making a sauce, for making a soup, making any kind of utilization. And also the steam boiling, it is also very, very, very recommended. Of course, it will take more time than the conventional boiling in water, but when people try and taste not only the nutritional properties, that some of the nutrients will be contained in the food and will not be dispersed in the in the water, the taste will be very different. And the only problem, it takes a little bit longer than the conventional boiling. But these are the most recommendable techniques we make to the people. Of course, for example, to use the peels of some fruits to make another dish. There are then also a book of recipes concerned with sustainability and teach people how they can use leftovers or something that they think as leftovers, that they think that they have no kind of utilization. Some books with some specifications and recipes in how to use that leftovers. So it is a very emergent topic, and I think the population is starting to learn something, and they are not being more sustainable. They are not wasting money. And that is also important, because they pay for that pill, they pay for the water that they are using to make that boiling that vegetable. So why not use it? Not only from the perspective of the sustainable world, that it can be not so easy for some people to see, but if we show to the people that they are wasting money, and you are giving an opportunity to those people to make, for example, another meal with something that they will throw away, that is important, and they will see in an easier manner.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an engaging and thought-provoking tutorial session. The discussion truly helped us reflect on how we can bring together better nutrition, taste, and safety while keeping sustainability at the core of our food choices. It was wonderful to hear the diverse perspectives and ideas shared by the participants. Sessions like this remind us that the journey toward healthier and safer food systems began with awareness, collaboration, and a willingness to innovate. With that, we come to the close of yet another insightful day of the GYAN program. So let's take a moment to reflect on the wealth of knowledge we have gained today. We began the day with the fascinating section on eating competence, where we explored how our attitude, behavior, and everyday food choices deeply influence not just nutrition but also our overall well being. The lecture beautifully emphasized that eating is not merely about nutrients, it's about balance, awareness, and enjoyment of food. This was followed by an eye opening lecture on vending machines, a topic we often overlook but one that plays a growing role in modern food systems. The discussion shed light on the importance of hygiene, safety protocols like HACCP, and the role of trained food handlers in ensuring that convenience never begins at the cost of food quality or safety. The final classroom discussion brought everyone together to share perspective on achieving better nutrition without compromising taste, a conversation that truly tied together the themes of sustainability, innovation, and consumer responsibility. Together, these sessions reminded us that building a healthier food environment begins with competence, accountability, and collaboration across every level, from individual habits to industrial practices. We'll now move on to the next part after a tea break for the assessment exam. So, all the best, everyone. Thank you.